Hey, hi parents! It's me! And I deeply, deeply apologize for showing up on your screen. Scream? Please don't scream. For showing up on your screen. But it's too late. Have you ever came across those TikTok videos where you type the word book into the search bar and the first book that shows up is supposed to describe your life and you completely? Have you?
I'm home, I'm very sick. It sucks. But I've been scrolling TikTok as you do when you're sick, and I saw this woman post that there's a new trend on TikTok where you go to the little magnifying glass and you search the word book, and whatever the first book is that comes up for you is going to be really relevant to your life.
Well, I have, and I tried it, and here's what happened. First of all, thank you, TikTok. I do really deserve this shit. Thank you. Luckily, this is not the real book, and not even the first book that popped up. So I'm not trying to read it and search it and everything. But honestly, this one stands up much more than the one that pops up first. So the book that apparently describes my life, completely describes my life, is called Call It What You Want, which I already like. Because it's kind of me. I'm the type of person who never stresses how the people should address me. I literally don't care. Call me what you want. And I also tend to call others whatever I want. At least my friends. Yes, it would be very strange into the other situations at work. It depends. At the show. I also love making up weird, non-existent words and names for things. You don't see much of it because I'm on my way to mastering this skill in English, but in my native language, oh boy, you'd better not to be my friend if you like proper grammar. Now let's take a closer look at the book itself. First impression, it's way too pink for me. I'm not a big fan of pink, and I never have been, so I don't know. Is it supposed to mean something? How does it describe me? What's on the cover? Is it a phone? Yes, an old school one. Cool. Is this supposed to remind me that I'm not young anymore? That I do remember phones like this? That I did use them? Don't like it. Don't do this big. But anyway, I hate talking on the phone. This is an absolute last resort. I need to see the other person's face to be even remotely comfortable during conversation. Oh no, this is a romance. Why? I kinda should have guessed that from the aggressively pink cover, but the hope was still with me. Oh, it's not. What do I do? What do I do? I don't even like romance books. I read them occasionally, but I'm not like a big fan of it. And my life doesn't feel anywhere near to being romantic. Is that me? Maybe crazy, unhinged a little, but not romantic. But I guess we will just see. I will read it and hope there is something deeper behind all of this. Wish me luck and see you in the next part. Look at me, look at me. I'm in a pink sweater to match the topic, to match the book, something like that. I know it looks incredibly dumb because there is a like 30 degrees Celsius heat outside and kinda inside, but I literally have no other pink clothes in my closet, and I just hope I won't regret this. And yes, I'm sitting on the floor trying to make this situation a little bit better. But let's get back to the main theme. I read the book. Well, read sounds kinda a little bit as an overstatement, but just just watch the video and see what I actually did with this book. No spoilers. No spoilers at all. So it starts with a prologue where we meet our main heroine, Sloan, and her boyfriend tells her that he cannot do this anymore and they need to break up and all of that and blah blah blah. End of prologue. It was short. Just like all the chapters in this book. After that we jump to the past where our main character is still in the college. She's starting the senior year, she's moving to a new dorm with her friends, and on the way to the college, on the shuttle bus, she meets our second main character, Ethan. By the way, my boyfriend and I also met in college, so it kinda reminds me of us. And also, the full name of Ethan is Ethan Brady, so his initials are EB. And my boyfriend's initials are also EB. Interesting. Though Sloan's initials are not even close to mine. So, although she describes her as having auburn hair, and though technically, according to internet, it's not my color, but Ethan called her redhead. And you can kind of see that. One more coincidence. Anyway, back to the plot. So they meet, and they are both majoring in communications. They are both seniors, and they have never seen each other anywhere on the campus or at the parties or anywhere else. Sure, very believable. Sloan lives with two friends, Lauren and Jordan. Ethan lives with two friends too, Graham and Jake, if I'm not mistaken. No. Yes. And everyone here in this company loves partying, and they meet all together at the party the same evening and hit off, have a great time, everything perfect. Still don't understand how they never met before, none of them, but who am I to question that, right? Our lovebirds instantly feel an attraction, or maybe some alcohol, I am not sure, but they kiss and life is beautiful. Perfect. Lauren, the friend of Sloan, starts dating Graham, the friend of Ethan, if you forget already, pretty quickly. But our couple takes their time and moving slowly. At another party, on the way to the party, Sloan has to sit on Ethan's lap because there is not enough space for her, but the party itself is wild. They go there, Sloan goes to the bathroom, and after that she decides to go home, and that's it. That's the party. Crazy party indeed. But the Ethan insists they go to his place, only to find their apartment in a complete mess. So they spend half an hour cleaning. This party is even crazier, I would say. I wish I had partied like this back in my day in university. Whoa! What a time it would be. Anyway, after cleaning, they talk, they kiss again, and everything's great. And next comes a volleyball game where Ethan and Graham play, and girls come to just watch. But Ethan cannot concentrate on the game because, oh no, Sloan is talking to another guy. And this guy's 100% into her, like no other options here. Ethan is pissed off by that, but it's like, you are not dating, guys. And she can't talk to other people. Then fall breaks come and everyone leaves the campus except our two main characters. So they hang out together, have a great time, and finally have sex. And after that, they never leave the bed for the entire week. Pretty understandable. Then, according to the book, 2 years pass, but they are still seniors for some reason. Maybe it's just me and I just don't know the American system of higher education. But whatever, the most important thing here is they are still not dating. And at first I thought I'm losing my mind and this guy is like a massive red flag. But apparently it was just a typo in the year at the beginning of the chapter. Actually, it's been only 2 months, not 2 years. So relax everyone. For now. And here we found out that Ethan is one of those guys who hides their emotions and feelings, so their relationship bonds to be complicated. Then from some friends, Sloan finds out that he's like that because of some family trauma, and basically relationship and commitment are hard for him. It's typical blah blah blah, but the line that got me is it's been a decade of bachelorhood for him. Excuse me, what? He's like 22, 25 tops. You're telling me he hasn't been in a relationship since 12? Was he a Casanova before? I can imagine all those kindergarten girls swooning over him. What a bizarre phrasing. They go to yet another party. Drunk Sloan sees Ethan talking to another girl and she just explodes. Because obviously he cannot talk to another woman anymore. Even to his mom. Nope. These healthy relationships. Like relationships, because they are not even dating and she's already furious. They match each other perfectly in this regard. But Ethan isn't any better. He is worse. Because when Sloan asks him about all the situation, he tells her how could he not give his number to this girl, that would have been rude, and this is a quote, "It's not like I have a girlfriend." I'm sorry? This is why I don't read romance. All the characters usually act like idiots. In real life, this guy would have been long gone. At least if it was me, on the place of Sloan. But maybe she's just a little bit slow. Oh my god. So stupid. Sorry. But of course they make up and she is even apologizes. Girl, stop it. Then we jump back in time again to 2017, but everyone in this book acts like nothing happened and it's just a new year. But I can see the text and I can read this text. And it told me we came back from 2018 to 2017. But alright. Oh, and then they go to mountain trip. Only to play Never Have Ever because no more activities described during this trip. But that's not so important. The most important part is that during the game we found out, or mostly Sloan finds out, that Ethan cheated on someone. But remember, he hasn't been dated anyone in 10 years. Ah, poor elementary school girls. How could you, Ethan? That's so bad. No. They fight again, obviously, but Sloan thinks that they're soulmates and that she can change him, and she even asks universe, how can I get him to see that it should be me? You don't. You just say goodbye and live your life happily after. Then we get a peek into Ethan's life. Basically, he hasn't lived with his family for a long time, and grandparents became his new family, and that's why he has all those issues with trust and all of that, blah blah blah, and it's all very sad. But for me, he just sounds kind of toxic. February rolls around and within it's Sloan's birthday, which is interesting because my birthday is also in February. Another coincidence, I guess. They go to, do you know where? Yes, another party where Sloan's drunk so much so she throws up and they have to go home. But Ethan doesn't want to go home because he wants to party. He didn't finish all of that. The man of my dreams, for sure. And finally, after this party, Ethan makes something meaningful. Ends this math. Of course, with the whole, it's not you, it's me, and you deserve better speech, but whatever. He ends it, and it's wonderful. Of course, Sloane cries, and she's very upset, and because she's such a pushover, but we're not talking about that. The book, at this point, is still very far from ending. Somebody please help me. I really need this. And here, mini rant. I hate Ethan's POV chapters because after reading them, he's still as mysterious to the reader, to us, as he is to Sloane. Because no one thinks about themselves the way he thinks about himself in his chapters, and all those chapters are so tiny in comparison to Sloane's chapters. I think mainly because author tries to avoid revealing anything too early, but also maybe because she doesn't know what to say about this guy. But in this case, just maybe just not to write them. I think this book won't lose anything if she just removed all those chapters. But that's just a suggestion. A month passes. They go to another party, and Sloane hangs out there with another guy, but keeps looking for Ethan. And when she sees him, she runs away because logic, I guess. Then she gets super drunk and wakes up at this guy's bed. But he says they had no sex. She remembers nothing, so I'm not sure at this point what happened there. But it's not important whatsoever. What's important is that Ethan sees her with another guy at the party, and he gets jealous, and they're back together. Well, not together because they're still not dating, so basically the same stuff as before. In total, they were broken up for 3 pages. Why? I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. But I find another similarity with Sloane. She's wanted to be a writer very much, and it's my dream too, since childhood. So kind of another coincidence. I don't like it. But we digressed. Sloane, so they actually finished their education. They never studied, only partied, but whatever. Sloane gets a job as an assistant, like editorial assistant in some newspaper in New York. So she and Lauren moves to New York. Jordan, their third girlfriend, who forgot, stays behind. Ethan stays behind also. So now they are doing long distance because things weren't hard enough already. A month later, Ethan visits them for a couple of days. They drink. Why is everyone in this book constantly drinking? No, I don't understand. Oh my god. They sleep together a few times. They almost fight a few times. All this typical stuff. And after he leaves, he texts her something like, "It won't work out. We can't be together. We have to stop. But it's not you, it's me," all of that, blah blah blah, all the same. But it's still not the end of the book. I do not understand. And now we finally learn from Graham what's the childhood trauma Ethan has. So basically, when he was 13, his parents, drunk, hit someone with their car, so his dad got 10 years in prison, his mom got 1 year, and after she got out, instead of coming back to her son, she just moved out to another state and married another guy, and I think she had another baby now, like Mother of the Year. Yes, I can see something here, and it's all very sad, but it still does not excuse him of acting like a jerk. Sorry, at least not for me. My energy and time is priceless in comparison to some random guy, even if he's trauma. No, it's not my problem. So after this breakup, Sloane throws herself into work and writes a series of successful articles about their known relationship. Then another guy from college shows up and she's open to dating him, basically. Sounds like happy end, but of course no. It's only the end of before part, and now the after part begins. It's been it's been even less than 6 months between them. So why it's split like that? I have no clue. The before part lasted a year, almost a year, and sometimes jumps month ahead too. So I literally see no difference here, but don't ask me, I have no answers. Life with new guy, Reese, is great. He's charming, he's attentive, he's perfect, he's polite, he does everything she likes. And they are, what is most important in this story, they are officially dating. The girl moves to another apartment, and then one night, coming home from yet another unnecessary party scene, she runs into Ethan because he moved into the same apartment building out of all of New York, because New York is tiny, obviously. And of course she melts because she's still in love with him. And that's where I stopped reading the book. I couldn't take it any longer. Not because the characters are annoying or I don't understand them. Well, I don't. But I don't understand plenty of people in this world. That's not a problem. And not because these two have literally zero chemistry between them. Yes, maybe they click in the bed and everything else, like she imagines all of that in her head, like all this soulmate stuff. And there are two options basically. First one is that this is an intentional thing, an intentional concept, and this is actually cool because there are a lot of people who are in relationships like that. They created all this image in their head that they are soulmates, but everything else is unbearable. Or this is just the bad character writing, but it's very hard to judge not reading the whole thing, which I'm not gonna do. No, I stopped reading because this book is just badly written overall, and it desperately needs editing. There are so many parties where nothing happens. Those are just fillers, because sometimes irrelevant things happen before the party, sometimes after. So there is no need to describe the entire event if there is nothing worth showing happens there. And almost all of the events are like this. The typical description of an event is: we went there, we got alcohol, 1 hour later I asked my friend, should we go home? And we went home. Why? Oh, and the Uber thing. I think we can consider this book as a free advertisement for an Uber. Because every time we go somewhere, we call an Uber. Maybe the whole point of all those useless parties is to give an excuse people to call an Uber afterwards. I don't even know. I will give you another example, the last one, which was basically the final straw after which I DNF'd the book. Sloane runs into Ethan in their apartment building. After that, in the yet again tiny, Ethan's POV chapter, he calls Graham to tell about this, and he says that some guy recommended him this apartment, which he already mentioned in conversation with Sloane, just previous page. So those are not a news for us as a reader. And Graham says something like, oh, didn't you know that this guy is the roommate of Sloane's new boyfriend? And those are not news for us as readers too. We knew that. And Ethan is surprised, but not by the fact that Sloane has a new boyfriend, because he already knew that, but by the fact that those guys are still talking to each other, which I don't care. And the chapter ends here. Why this chapter even exists? Why? Nothing new happened there. If at least he hadn't known about the boyfriend, yes, and we could get a glimpse into his reaction to this news, yes, then fine. At least there is a purpose. But here, that was just a waste of 3 pages, and half of the book is like that. Just a waste of paper and my time. And as I said, my time is priceless. So I DNF'd. And on top of that, it's clear that no one did the proper line edit of this book. There are a ton of repeated phrases. I will try to put some examples here, the most evident, but sadly I started marking them too late. But I didn't know that I would DNF this book at this point, so yes, but I still have a couple of them, but there are a lot of things like that, believe me. Please, let's not forget this typo in year that made me thinking that they were in college for like millionaires. That's not great, that's not good. This book needed another careful read before publishing, that's for sure. Well, I think I have to finish, finally. And it's pretty sad that the book of my life turned out to be completely unreadable. Does that mean that my life is chaotic and poorly edited too? Of course not, it was just a TikTok joke. What have you expected? Or maybe not. Anyway, as always, share your thoughts in the comments. Share also which book you got when you typed the word book in the search bar. Subscribe so you don't miss me doing something stupid and ridiculous again. And see me suffering over the book again. And yes, bye!